Today I will be going through my entire 2,800 plus Pokemon collection in Pokemon Home. Yo, what is up you guys? It's Dominator here and I am finally doing it. I'm doing my Pokemon Home tour where I'm going through my entire Pokemon collection that is in Pokemon Home. Funny enough, I actually made a video similar to this like a really long time ago when I was like pretty new into YouTube, where I went through all of my PC boxes in Pokemon Platinum. I guess I'll leave a card for that on screen now if you guys want to check that out, but it's pretty old. I was pretty new to YouTube, but I think at the time it was like one of my most popular videos, and I've wanted to do another one for a very long time now, and I just didn't really know when to do it. But once I finished my full Pokemon Home living decks, I figured now would be a good time to do it, especially after sending up all my shinies. We have, I think, pretty much everything I can show off in Home here. I might have some Pokemon in some of the games. I might connect to some of the games to show them off, but I think for the most part, we have almost everything in my Pokemon Home. If you do enjoy these like Pokemon Home videos, like obviously I had my whole series where I got full living decks in Pokeballs only. I did the Sending Up Shiny series. Now I'm going through all of my Pokemon Home collection. If you do enjoy these videos, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. But yeah, we got a lot to go through. There's a lot of Pokemon I have in this. I'll probably go through a lot of the main living decks pretty quickly, and the shinies I'll probably go a little more in depth in. Also, I do want to say this isn't like a scripted video. I'm just kind of speaking my mind when things happen, so hopefully I don't ramble too much about certain things, but yeah, I don't have it like pre-written out. I'm just talking straight up from what's on my mind now, so yeah. I do want to say I've seen a lot of videos like this, and I've always really enjoyed this type of video. Just looking through people's Pokemon Home collection, I think is really fun. I don't know why, like they're really long videos, and if I'm being honest, not much goes on in them, but I do really enjoy them. It's just fun seeing like what people have gotten and how they got certain Pokemon. It's always fun to go through and see people's collections like that. Starting off, we have our main living decks. I have a whole series of this on my channel. I don't know how many cards you can put on a video, but I do have a playlist of my entire Pokemon Home living decks journey that I have done throughout every generation. The journey was we catch them all in Pokeballs only in their original games. So all of these ones are caught from Generation 1, from like Red, Blue, Yellow. So this one says, seems to have been first met in the Kanto region in the good old days. And as you can see, I think the date on it is when I sent it up. I don't know if that's exactly when I caught it, but I think I did send it up the same date I caught it, which is essentially when I started it, because I had to keep restarting save files and sending them up. Yeah, I think I did start this on February 3rd, 2023. At the time of recording this, it is currently December 3rd, 2024. So almost 2 years since starting this. I finished it a few months ago, so it did take a while. Part of it was the fact that I had to edit it all into a bunch of videos, which took a while. But yeah, it did take a long while to get all of these. So all of these guys are caught in Pokeballs. They're all caught from Red, Blue, Yellow. Obviously, like the regional variants are caught from like Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. As you can see, the Alola region there. Also, you may have noticed the Venusaur is Gigantamax. I know some people like to have separate Pokemon for their Gigantamax factor Pokemon, but I opted against that. I didn't really want too many extra spaces, so I figured, you know, if I absolutely need to not have these be Gigantamax, then I can just give them Max Soup again. It's not really that big of a deal, obviously, because you can just keep changing them back and forth. Yeah, a lot of people do things differently than what I do, especially when it comes to organization. Don't let my organization method, I mean, I guess if you want to have it influence you in any way, sure, but don't think of it as like a concrete rule. The best thing about living decks is that you can make up your own rules. Like my personal rules for mine was caught in their oldest games they can be caught in terms of generation, not in terms of games. So obviously Red and Blue came out before Yellow, but if I caught them in Yellow, it's still Generation 1, so I still count that. And then I caught them all in Pokeballs only. Obviously, from the Virtual Console games, there's no Pokeball data saved, so I could have theoretically caught them all in Master Balls and then sent them up, and they would have still been caught in a Pokeball upon transferring. All Pokeballs only, original games, and the organization that I'm going with is how the Pokemon Home Dex organizes them. So for gender differences, always male first and then female, and then alternate. So like obviously we have male and female Butterfree, and then after the female, assuming there is a gender difference, then there's the regional variants. So we got Alolan Rattata, then we got male, female, and Alolan Raticate. So yeah, so that's kind of the gist of like my organization. If there's any other rules I need to mention, I guess I will continue there. Next page, we got all of the Ash Hat Pikachus. So these are all from their original games. I got these events, I think. See, if I'm not mistaken, these were in, I think, the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon games. I guess I can summarize. There's not really anything special about it. But caught in 2017, I would assume that's Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Didn't Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon come out in like November of 2017? So these were Sun and Moon. And if I remember correctly, you could only get one per save file. And it was like after a few days, they would do another Ash Hat Pikachu, but you still could only get one per save file. So you essentially had to pick and choose which one you wanted. And I didn't want to do that. So I played through my Sun copy a bunch of times and kept getting each of them because I wanted all of them. So we do have all of them here. And then here's the partner cap one, which was this was actually from Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. And this one I caught in 2023 because obviously you can get this anytime as long as you have a copy of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon if you scan a QR code. So that one you can get anytime. So all of the stuff that I could get like here and now I got, and the date would be, you know, recent. But the ones that were like event exclusive that you can't get anymore are from the original events. There was a re-release of these Ash Hat Pikachus for Sword and Shield, which also included this World Cat Pikachu. And I think you weren't limited to one per save file. I think you could get all of them in a certain save file. So that was cool. I think I have the extra ones from Sword and Shield, but I wanted the OG Sun and Moon ones. Obviously, I like going older games possible, so that's part of the rule. And yeah, then we got all of these ones. I'm going to try to go a little faster. I know I've been already talking for a while on these, but I had to go through some of those event ones. Another organization thing with this is like, obviously there's a Galarian Meowth too, so it's like Meowth, Alolan, Galarian, then Persian, Alolan, Persian. There's no Berserker. Berserker is in Gen 8, so that's another thing. A lot of people like to include all evolutions together, which I totally get. But for me, I like going by the dex number order. So even though Berserker is the evolution of Galarian Meowth, it's going to be with the rest of Gen 8 in the dex number slot it's supposed to be in, because that's how I like doing it. Same goes for babies. So like obviously Igglybuff is not next to Jigglypuff, and Cleffa is not next to Clefairy, and same with like Pichu, so on and so forth, because they are in just the home Pokedex order. So that's how I'm organizing these. But yeah, here's more Pokemon, more form differences, genders, everything. Pretty much every gender difference is included, not just the obvious ones. So if you do see two Pokemon next to each other, it's because it's got a gender difference, even if you don't notice what the gender difference is. So that is why. But let's just go through the rest of Generation 1. Again, like all these caught in Pokeballs only in the original game. So like these were caught in Pokeballs, the Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres from the Crown Tundra. Moving forward, we're on to Generation 2. I should also mention the Mew. Mew I got via the 8F glitch in, the Mew glitch in Red and Blue. But if you use 8F, you can make it a legal Mew to send up, because they did an event for Mew, like I think it was when the Virtual Console games came out. You could get an actual event Mew, but I obviously didn't do that. It might have been Japan only, I'm not sure, but you can mimic that Mew by giving it the same OT and ID number, and then it'll be a legal Mew, because obviously you can't send glitch Pokemon up without it essentially mimicking legitimate events, and that's what this is. So that's how that is. So that's another thing I should mention, is that all of these are like my OT, unless they can't be. You can get Mew with your OT. There's been a few events where you can catch Mew on your own or just get it with your OT. But for me personally, I prefer the oldest generation you can catch them in over my OT and over the Pokeball thing. So there are going to be some Cherish Ball Pokemon in here, even though like I'm already getting ahead of myself. But the Meloetta you can catch in Scarlet and Violet. You can catch that in a Pokeball, obviously. But I wanted the old school Meloetta that's in a Cherish Ball, because I wanted it from the original generation only. So that's another thing. I think the Pikachus as well are not my OT. They're Ash's OT. So that's another thing. But moving on, this is probably gonna be a long video. I apologize for how long this is gonna be, but there's a lot of Pokemon to go through. There's a lot, but yeah, we got Generation 2, and there we go. All of the unknown letters. I know a lot of people like to put the unknown letters like in separate spots as well. I like going in the dex number order, just exactly how it is listed in the Pokedex in Pokemon Home. So another example is like Sneasel, and then the Hisuian Sneasels are here, but obviously Sneaseler's not here. Same with Weavile, they're going to be in later generations. You guys probably get the gist of how I organize this. I do get a lot of comments though asking about, oh, here's a Celebi from the Crystal Virtual Console. This one you can just catch at any time as long as you have a Virtual Console Crystal, but they don't sell it anymore, so you either have to get it by pirating it essentially, or you just can't get it. So that's a bit unfortunate, but that is the Crystal Celebi Virtual Console. I did buy Crystal twice. I do plan to hunt Celebi on it too. So I did buy Crystal twice on my 3DSs before the eShop shut down because I knew I wanted to do some shiny hunts in it. So I did get this. I did not pirate Crystal for it, but I do hope that at some point they do like re-release the Virtual Console games on either the Switch 2. I don't think they're going to be releasing them on the Switch, but it'd be cool if like in the Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be called, they release the Virtual Console games, because it does get old when there are certain like games you just cannot buy outside of the really 20-year-old physical copies that are so inflated in price now, and don't even, in Pokemon's case, don't even connect to the modern games. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but I know that's not Pokemon's fault. That's kind of a Nintendo thing that they do. Moving on to Generation 3, I was saying something and then I got sidetracked. That is the glory of me not scripting this, but here's Generation 3. Generation 3 has a lot less gender differences, believe it or not, even though there's already like a bunch in a row right here with like Roselia and then the Gulpins and like the Nummels and stuff. Believe it or not, there's not many gender differences in Gen 3. Gen 3 was pretty straightforward to get everything except for the 4 Deoxys. I had to use a set of glitches to unlock the old school Deoxys event in my Spanish copy of Emerald. And a lot of people asked me why I didn't just duplicate the Deoxys, because it's very easy to duplicate Pokemon in Emerald, but I wanted it to be a, like, I try to do things as legit as possible, even though it's not possible to do Deoxys 100% legit in Generation 3. You can get it in Generation 6, but I want to do original games only. I try to do it as legit as possible, so I didn't use an external device for this. You can do it, you can access it all via glitches and game exploits. I played through the game 4 times in order to catch all 4 of them, because I wanted them to not only have different IDs, but have different natures and different stats and stuff. So I like that more. Obviously, I'm not going to hate on you for duplicating Deoxys if you want to do it that way, because it took a while. Like, it took weeks to get a 4 Deoxys because of just how tedious it was to play through the game and do the glitches in order to unlock the event. Jirachi, I own a Coliseum bonus disc, so I can just get unlimited Jirachis if I want. I think I have multiple Wishmaker Jirachis in this home too. I can just get as many of these as I want, so that's where that one came from. What I was actually going to say, I remembered what I was going to say before I started talking about Celebi, was a lot of people always comment on my videos about the way I organize my home decks, saying like, oh, if they add another regional variant, you're going to be taking forever to reorganize everything. The reality is, it does not take that long to move everything like a box over, or just move everything a couple slots over if they add new forms or regional variants or whatever to earlier gen Pokemon. I think the longest it's taken me to like reorganize my home is like 20 to 30 minutes, which, you know, could be long to some people, but it's kind of like therapeutic to do it. It's kind of fun. I don't know. Moving on to Gen 4, we have all the Burmese. Oh, here's another thing I should mention, and obviously I've mentioned pretty much everything in my my Living Deck series, so if you have watched that series, you probably already know about like everything in here outside of a lot of my shinies and stuff. The Mothims, I was doing like alternate forms, and I'm doing like super crazy psycho completionist version of this. If you notice the Wormadams or Wormadams, I always say Wormadam, but it's obviously Wormadam because it's like Mothim as the male one and then Wormadam as the female one. Fun fact if you didn't know that. But the Burmese and the Wormadams have different like marks on them, bottom right, if you notice that. I didn't realize this, but Mothim actually holds onto the internal form of the Burmese, the cloaks. So I got 3 Mothims that have the different cloaked forms. They, obviously, it's all internal. You don't see it, but it is there. As we get later on, it's the same with like Scatterbug and Spupa. This is the plant cloak Mothim, this is the sandy cloak, and then this is the trash cloak. These are more like optional forms. You don't really need these because they don't show up in Home's decks or anything, but I figured if there are internal forms for Pokemon that you can get, I might as well get them. So that's what that is. Moving forward, we got some more stuff. Nothing too crazy here. I should mention, I didn't mention this earlier, but evolutions, newer evolutions of older Pokemon, I do catch in their older games. So this Porygon Z was caught in red and blue. Or yellow, one of the 3. It was caught in one of the 3 Gen 1 games. I do that. A lot of people wonder why I do that. I just like the satisfaction of catching them in their oldest games possible, including ones that evolve. Obviously, if they shut down Bank in the future, I can't do that anymore. But until then, I'm going to keep doing it. I know a lot of people say, like, you shouldn't do it because if they shut Bank down, it's going to kind of screw you over. And I get that. Other people say I should just catch extras of every single Pokemon just in case, but like, that's absurd. I'm not doing that. That's just how we're doing it. We got all of the Rotoms. We got Fione, Manaphy. This was from Ranger. I have 6 copies of Ranger that are all authentic, and I am planning on shiny hunting Manaphy. And then I also have an R4 card that I can get more save files of Ranger on. I think I can also wipe the save files of Ranger if I want to do it more legitimately, but I can get as many Manaphies as I want essentially by doing something like that. Darkrai, Shaman, these are all from Platinum. You can use the DNS exploit to get the Oak's letter and member card. I think you can also do it for a Manaphy egg, but it's not the Ranger one. I don't know if you can shiny hunt that one. Arceus, this one was pretty crazy. I caught this one in the void. It takes a while to get to it, and you can't save throughout like any of it. And I was like severely underleveled, and I ended up catching it like super early on when it was like at full HP, not asleep with a Pokeball. Like it was insane. Arceus is actually a really interesting one, I should mention. There's like a Toys R Us event Arceus that you can get. And yes, I say Arceus, I don't say Arceus, get over it. There is an event one from Toys R Us you can get with the DNS exploit, but since I have the option of getting it with my OT and in a Pokeball, I opted to do that. The only way to do that is if you do the Void Glitch in specifically Diamond. You can't do it in Pearl. The Void Glitch got patched in Platinum, so that's not an option either. It has to be Diamond. Same goes for Darkrai. You can get Darkrai easy in Platinum with the event because they actually released the event, so that's I didn't really mention it, but for some reason Darkrai and Arceus, if you do the Void Glitch to catch them in Diamond only and not Pearl, it can't be Pearl, and then you follow specific requirements before transferring them up into Gen 5, they can send into Home for some reason. So like Darkrai, you need to level it up to level 50 and have it forget the move. Shoot, I'm gonna forget what the move is. There's a move that it learns in Diamond and Pearl, but not Platinum, and you have to have it forget that, and then it has to be level 50 before you send it to Gen 5 because it mimics the event Darkrai. Arceus, I think it mimics an event Arceus, but essentially you level it up to level 100. It has to be caught from the Mystery Zone and not from Hall of Origin. If you get one caught from Hall of Origin, it doesn't work for some reason. It's a crazy oversight, 100%. I hope they never fix it. And you can't do it with Shiny Arceus. It can't be done with Shiny Arceus. It can be done with Shiny Darkrai, but not with Shiny Arceus. And Shiny, all of these ones that you can get from Platinum, these can all be Shiny and they're fine. It's just Arceus can't be Shiny. But yeah, you have to level it up to level 100 and have it forget every move except for Judgment, and then it'll send, and this is before sending it to Gen 5, because once you send it to Gen 5, it like solidifies the data, and then that's how it like takes it from into Transporter, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's really weird. You can get Arceus if you have a copy of Diamond, but it's only Diamond. If you have Pearl, you're out of luck. If you have Platinum, I guess use the DNS exploit for the Toys R Us one. But now we're on Gen 5, which also Victini, that was DNS exploit in order to catch it in Black and White. The Liberty Ticket, I think was what the event item was called. But yeah, Gen 5, not a ton to say about these ones. The Zorua and Zoroark were those like special event ones kind of from Black and White, because that's like the only way to get them in Gen 5, which is so weird to me. And then yeah, moving forward, Keldeo, we got 2 of them. These are Cherish Ball ones, as you can see, because we couldn't catch them. This is when they stopped letting you just catch mythicals outside of Victini, but they shiny locked Victini, so you can't even shiny hunt it. This is essentially when they stopped allowing you to just go and catch mythicals for the most part. And yeah, Keldeo, Meloetta, Genesect, all in Cherish Balls, but they are from the old games. I just used a DNS exploit, which some of you might not see that as legit. I get it, I totally do, but it's as legit as I could do it, trying to get them from the oldest games possible, so I'm okay with it. And if you have the original events from when they originally got released back in like, what, 2011 or something, in my opinion, that's cooler. So like, don't think of me being able to DNS exploit this as like, having yours mean not as much. Yours are way cooler. If you got it from the actual event when they got released, that's just so cool to me. Now we're on Gen 6. Here's the Scatterbug ones. I do have these Mark II. Same with the Mothams. Scatterbug and Spupa have the same patterns as the Vivians. It's just held internally. It's so the games know what they evolve into regardless of what game you send them in. We got all the optional internal forms for Scatterbug and Spupa. Trust me on this, we did a lot of tests. These are all of the patterns, and they are listed in the exact same order that these Vivian are listed in. So here's all the Vivian. I did this in my Gen 6 video, but huge shout out to Echo. They were someone who's been following me for a while, and they followed me on Twitch, and they've been active in my Twitch chat. So I guess if you want to see me do challenges and shiny hunts live, follow me on Twitch. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. They had mentioned that they bought all of the different 3DSs and games that you need in order to like legitimately get every single Vivian pattern out before they released them in Scarlet and Violet. Obviously you could get all of them with like I think it's like 3 3DSs and 3 different language games. They were breeding for the shinies, and I asked them to just, you know, breed a few of them, like 3 of each that I couldn't get on my own, breed 3 of each in Pokeballs, and then trade them to me so that when I hatch them, they have my OT. And they did it, and it was super helpful. That's why some of these are like level 1, like the Scatterbug's level 1. But then this one's level 3, because this one I could catch in my own game, because you get it at like Route 2. But yeah, like, I mean, having all of them from Gen 6 is insane. This Vivian, this fancy one, this is not from Scarlet and Violet. This is from the old school events. When I bought my copy of Y, it was used, and you always got to check the save file to see what's on it. When I loaded it up, they had a delivery man at the Pokemon Center, and I was like, oh, this could be so crazy. This could be like a shiny or a mythical or something like that. And I grab it, and it was Vivian, and I was originally super disappointed about it. I was like, that is so lame. I kept it, obviously. Little did I know that was like the only time they were ever releasing the fancy pattern Vivian, at least until Scarlet and Violet. But yeah, I got this like from the original event. That's why it says it was caught in 2014. That's when I got the game. So that's pretty cool. Then I have the Pokeball pattern Vivian, which this one I had to trade. This was from the original event, but I had to trade for it. I missed out on that event, and I think I went on Reddit, and there's like a whole Vivian like trading thing so people can get their Vivians, which obviously you can't do anymore because they shut down the 3DS online, so that's unfortunate. I had someone trade me a Vivian, Pokeball pattern Vivian. They did tell me it was duplicated, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's still the same as having one from the event. But it's the best I could do. I couldn't really get one like fully legit because I missed the event. They've never re-released it. I'm hoping Legends Z to A allows me to re-release it. So, and then we got all the Flabébés. We don't have Eternal Floette. I'm also hoping that gets released for Legends Z to A. Then we got the Furfroos. These are all just natural forms. I do have the trims from Pokemon Go, but I wanted obviously the old school from Kalos Gen 6 ones caught in Pokeballs with my OT. Once Legends Z to A comes out, I guarantee we'll be able to change their forms. They had like the Matrone, whatever it's called, that form of Furfrou in the trailer. I would assume we're able to change their forms. I'm guessing they won't revert them when you send them into home, because that'd be tragic if you had to still use Go to get all of them. I'm confident I'll be able to just put these into Legends Z to A once home compatibility comes out, and then just change their forms and move them back. For now, they're natural forms. Then we got all the sizes of Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist. This is another weird, I'm going off of home's dex order, which is why it's not small, average, large, super. It's average is the one that's listed first. Then it goes small, large, and super size. So that's why it's listed like that. These Zygardes, same thing with like the Scatterbugs and the Mothams. There's like internal form changes depending on the ability these are. So this one we got 50% Aura Break, 50% Power Construct, 10% aura break, and 10% power construct. Now again, weird, and not weird, I get why it's organized this way, but going off of Pokemon Home's decks, 50% is listed first before 10%, even though technically that wouldn't really make too much sense. Then we got Diancie. This is another one I missed out on an event, but someone in my local Pokemon Go Discord had an extra one that they said they got like a bunch of codes from GameStop when it was available, and they just were willing to trade me one. So that was pretty cool. So I got the original one. Then I got Hoopa. I don't know what this OT is for Hoopa Alexander. This was like a re-release Hoopa event in Gen 6 that they did. I got 2 of them. It was just like a code. You just type a code in. I don't know what the Alexander thing is. Is that like from the movie? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why it's OT is that. Probably from like a movie or something. Same with this Volcanion. This Helen, like what? This one I got on my own. This Volcanion I actually did get on my own. It was a GameStop code, but the Hoopa was like an online code, and I got 2 of them. Now on to Gen 7. Trying to think if there's anything special in here. I've realized I've already been recording for 33 minutes, so hopefully we can go through a little faster. This Melmetal is the Gigantamax one. The only way to get the Gigantamax Melmetal is through the Pokemon Home event you get. But I wanted one caught in a Pokeball from the original game, which is Go. So I have these 2 from Go, and then I also wanted the Gigantamax one. So this is another like optional one. It's not like that crazy. I just wanted one with a Gigantamax factor. I just can't put the Gigantamax factor on this Melmetal because for some reason they decided to make it so Max Soup doesn't work on Melmetal only. Here you can get that with a code in like Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun Ultra Moon literally anytime. It's pretty easy. The original color Magearna. This one you have to get every single Pokemon registered in Home from Bulbasaur into Eternatus, I believe, and then it gives you an event Magearna, which is cool. It's not shiny, it's just the original color. These both have unique shinies to them, so a lot of people do think this is like shiny Magearna. It is not. As you can see, there's no star icon on it. Marshadow, Mount Tensei, don't know what that is. Pretty sure I got this event when it got released. Don't remember if it was online or a code or something, but I did get that myself. Same with the Zeraora. Fula City, again, not sure what that means. Probably something from the anime, I would assume. But now we're on Gen 8. Every Pokemon that has a Gigantamax form has the Gigantamax factor. So there's Appleton, Flapple, Colossal, both Toxtricities. We got the Sinistes. We got Phony, Antique. You can't see it, but trust me, they are Phony and Antique. I also got these 2 from Curry encounters in Glenwood Tangle, the 2 Antiques. So they do have the Curry mark, which is pretty cool. Then we got all the Alchemies. And yes, these have all of these have the Gigantamax factor. And no, I did not do that old Milcery event for any of these. I had to farm max mushrooms for every single one of these except for this one, because this one you can catch as a Gigantamax in raids at any time. The rest you have to use max soup on if you want all these forms with the Gigantamax factor. Yes, it took forever. I optimized how to get it. Watch the Gen 8 Living Dex video if you want to know the fastest way to farm max mushrooms, because that's what I did, and it was tough. I had to do a lot of research on how to make this like not awful, and it was still pretty awful, but there's all the alchemies. Now I'm trying to get them all shiny, so that's cool. Zarude, I've mentioned the story in the Gen 8 Living Dex video, but this Zarude, they dropped the ball on these Zarude events. So apparently both of them, if you like signed up for the newsletter, you could like get both of them. I want to say close to like 70% of people that did that just didn't get emails for the newsletter, which is wild to me. I was included as those people. So I just didn't get it, despite like double checking to make sure I was signed up, despite all the hoops, like making sure it worked. It did not work. Eventually someone on Twitter was like, they said I could buy the code off of them, and I would never condone spending real money on a digital creature from someone it's probably hacked, but I did do that. The thing is, they actually gave me the code. They didn't give me just a Zarude that was probably either duplicated or hacked in. They gave me the actual event code that I typed in myself. So I do know this is fully legit. I did pay $5 for it. I'd say I regret it, but I've never had another opportunity to get the Zarude since. So I don't know if I really regret it. I guess it was $5 well spent, but don't do that unless you know the code's going to work. I was very worried that the code was not going to work, but it did work. So that was cool. The other one, I was watching some streamer like shiny hunting or something. I forget who it is. I wish I remembered because I would shout them out if I did, but I don't want to, the details wrong. But someone in the chat, like, randomly was like, I want to do some Pokemon trivia. They're like, what was the first Pokemon? And I just typed in Rhydon, because Rhydon was like the first official design Pokemon. I typed in Rhydon, and then they were like, you won. Here's a code for the Dada Zarude. And I was like, are you serious? And they just gave me a code for the Dada Zarude, and I that's how I got this one. So again, this was another newsletter thing, so I didn't get it because it just didn't work for me. So I'm very lucky to have both of these, because a lot of people missed out on these ones, and I just had to do some crazy hoops to get through. The Dada one was insane luck. Like, the odds of me being in specifically that streamer's chat, and then that person doing that trivia, and then me getting it right first, and then them giving me specifically Dada Zarude. Unreal. That's definitely a crazy one. Now we're on to Gen 9, which family of 3 Mousehold. I got family of 3 Mousehold and 3 segmented Dunsparce, like super under odds, which was crazy. All these guys, pretty cool. I don't think there's anything crazy in here. There's the 3 segmented Dunsparce, and yes, these are from I think they're from Crystal. I caught them in the Johto region in the good old days, because again, doing that thing, I used an outbreak. There was an outbreak to make Dunsparce like 40%. We would catch a box full of them, and then we would send them up and then try to evolve them. And I think it took like 30. Like, it was pretty fast for it being a 1 in 100. And the Mousehold took like 12 or something ridiculous. So that was pretty cool. The only Pokemon in this box that has to have the Go symbol on it, because it's the only way to get roaming form Gimmighoul. Melton and Melmetal you get from Go, but if you send them into Let's Go first, they don't have the Go symbol above their heads like this. I don't know why they do it like this. I don't get it, because the Go symbol's still in the summary, so I don't get that. Yeah, this one has to have the Go symbol on it, because you can't send it to Let's Go, obviously. Then we got, I mean, you can catch all these in game, but you have to buy the DLC on both versions, which kind of sucked. So that was fun. And now we got Petrarunt there. You can catch that with the DLC as well. Before I go to shiny living dex, I think we're gonna go through the bonus Pokemon. So let's go here. Here's some extra, just like non-shiny Pokemon that are special. These are just some old school like Dratini, Dragonair, Dragonites that I got from my old Fire Red copy, because Dragonite's my favorite Pokemon for those who don't know. So I just, I kind of collect them. So Ursaluna and Weirdeer, these are from Coliseum. And I don't own Coliseum, but I had a friend let me borrow Coliseum for a while. So that's how I got these. I thought it was kind of interesting to have these guys from Coliseum. I mean, that's how I know, because it's an ID I forgot about, and it says a Distant Land. I think Distant Land is the Ore region or whatever it's called. So that's pretty cool. This is the original Event Dusk Rockruff, or Lycanroc. It was the Own Temple Rockruff, but it's from the Alola region. You could say it kind of sucks that I sent it up, but I did breed it to get extra Own Tempo Rockruffs in Gen 7. Oh, that's another thing. I actually completely missed that, but I probably won't go back because it'll take a while. I'll go back, whatever. I actually completely forgot to mention this when I got to Gen 6 and 7. There's 2 Greninjas. One of them is the Battle Bond, and one of them is just a regular Greninja. The Battle Bond Greninja you get from the Sun and Moon demo. This one, it's not even like Scatterbug. It's a form that is listed in the mobile version of Home in the Dex. So in the Dex for Pokemon Home for Greninja, it has Greninja, then Battle Bond Greninja, then Ash Greninja. Obviously, you can't box Ash Greninja. That's why there's 2 of those, and the same goes for Own Tempo Rockruff. Own Tempo Rockruff is this one, and then this is just a normal Rockruff. Own Tempo Rockruff shows up as an alternate form in Home's Dex as well, and it's only in the mobile version. I think it's because the Switch version doesn't show abilities in the Dex when the mobile version does. Prime example would be Greninja. Greninja, it's like the normal Greninja will show Torrent, and then what is it? Protein is its hidden ability. It'll list those 2 abilities, and then if you go to the Battle Bond one, it'll be a separate thing and say Battle Bond. It's not like it lists Battle Bond as one of the abilities as normal Greninja. So that is something noteworthy. But yeah, going back to this is the original old school Own Tempo Rockruff that I did breed to get more in Gen 7, so I can keep Own Tempo Rockruffs in Gen 7. This is my original color Magearna, but I nicknamed it. So I had to make a separate home account and send everything into it in order to get a second one that wasn't nicknamed, because that's another rule I guess I didn't mention for my living decks, is that none of them are nicknamed. Unless they have to be, but I don't think any of them have to be. I think none of them are nicknamed. But But I did nickname this one because I do like having some more unique Pokemon to me. So whenever there's like an event Pokemon that you can nickname, I usually jump on it and nickname it, but I can't unname it because once you get an event home Pokemon, it's your OT, but there's no way to change names in home. So there's no way to nickname it after that. So yeah, I had to get another one, which was a lot of work. All right, this row is like my OG team from Fire Red that I used. This is not the order I caught them in. I think it was something like this. And then I have a shiny Dragonite that's not in this box, but it included shiny Dragonite. When I got back into Pokemon, this was the team that I used to play through the first time after so many years. So that was pretty cool. This is the obviously Mattel is Mount Battle. This is the event Ho-Oh that you get from doing 100 of that special Mount Battle challenge in Coliseum. This was the main reason why I even asked my friend to borrow Coliseum, is because at the time, this was before Virtual Console was a thing. The oldest possible games you could catch Pokemon in that were compatible with later games was Gen 3. So the only way to get a Gen 3 Ho-Oh for me was to do it this way. So that's why I did it. So obviously I wasn't going to get rid of the Ho-Oh after I switched it to a Gen 2 Ho-Oh, but that one's pretty cool. This is XD001. I actually own Coliseum. XD001, this is the Shadow Lugia you get from Coliseum. Or from XD, not Coliseum. These are the special Mount Battle Johto starters you get from XD. Not that one. Johto starters you get from XD. They have Frenzy Plant on Chikorita, Blast Burn on Cyndaquil, and Hydro Cannon on Totodile. I believe this is the only legitimate way to get these moves on unevolved starters, if I'm not mistaken. They probably changed it in like Scarlet and Violet or something, but at least at the time, like, it's cool having these with the special moves, but it's even cooler that they're like unevolved. So I do not plan to evolve these ones because you can get them on any starter that's fully evolved, but not unevolved ones. Again, unless they changed it in Scarlet and Violet, I actually don't know. This Snorlax is the OG Alola event Snorlax with the Z Crystal, the Pulverizing Pancake. And it has the event move Hold Back. It was a Munchlax, and it gets this exclusive move Hold Back. I think only a couple Pokemon in the whole history of this game gets the move Hold Back, which is essentially just False Swipe. It's just False Swipe. It's just got a different name. These are like Pokemon that I had playthroughs of. So this was like my one of my blue save files. Obviously, my name is GF, so I played through with the GF name so I could get the Mew. And then this was my Ruby playthrough team. I mean, like really old school. Back in like some of my super old videos, like essentially the videos I did right after. For those who don't know, I started as a Minecraft channel on YouTube. And once I got back into Pokemon, I started making Pokemon Let's Play videos. And these were in those. Like this is like almost 10 years old, like these Pokemon. This is my Gen 4, like my Platinum playthrough, I'm pretty sure. The other one's a shiny. I had a shiny Drifblim, which we'll see later, I think. This was, I think, a Diamond playthrough, were these ones. And then this was my Black 2 playthrough. And then we might have more. This was like my Moon playthrough, I think. And then this was like either Ultra Moon or something else. And then this was like another Pearl playthrough. Like I don't have all the members. I don't know where some of them are. But I might have, some of them I just played through the games fast and just didn't have full teams, or some of them was like an HM slave, so I just didn't really care to bring them on, but that's what those are. These are extra Pokemon that have Pokerus. If I ever need to spread it to anyone, I just keep these guys here and they'll never get cured, so that's cool. These are the extras if needed, so these are all the Furfrou trims I was talking about. I caught these in Pokeballs. I didn't record them, but when I had to play through X and Y again, just to get the extra Zygardes, I did catch Xerneas and Yveltal in Pokeballs again, in case they get some sort of alternate form that isn't like a Mega or whatever in Legend Z to A. I have no idea. Palkia and Dialga got forms. They weren't like boxable forms, but if they do something similar, who knows? I just wanted to be safe with that. And then we got an extra shiny Meloetta here. And then these are all the 20th anniversary event code Pokemon, which they all have the GF tag, which is interesting. But yeah, these are from the 20th anniversary. I got like all of these events. I also have the promo Pokemon cards they sold. It was like the generation set, and they sold boxes of each of these mythicals. I got each one because this was Gen 6 was the latest, so they didn't do the Gen 6 mythicals, and they didn't do Darkrai because you could get Darkrai in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I think, oh, okay, Arceus is part of this, but I think I kept my two Arceus in my Y copy because I used them for level grinding in X and Y, so That's why Arceus isn't in here, because it's really useful for the triple battles to just have 2 Arceus. These are for extra moves challenges. Pokemon Home has like a set of challenges to complete, and then some of them are like register all the starters from Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, so that's what like all that is. And then this one's like a Groudon. It's like register Groudon and Kyogre. I apparently traded the Kyogre. I don't have it anymore, but we did catch Groudon. It still counted even though I didn't have Kyogre, because I did register Kyogre at some point. But yeah, there's like certain things like that. These ones are moves. Oh no, this one was abilities. I needed Steely Spirit as the ability. I think Perish Body for this one. Some of these are abilities, but some of these are like special moves that you can only get for Pokemon in like older games, like Oricorio, where there was like a move that I couldn't get in like a later game or something like that. And you need those, so you have to like register all the moves in those dexes and abilities and stuff. These are just extra legendaries and mythicals that I have. Some of these were ones I replaced from getting the new ones for my home living decks. These are extra Vivians that I traded a lot for. These are hidden ability starters. These are extra Ash Hat Pikachus. This was a shiny Duskull someone traded to me because I traded them something too. More extra legendaries I have. More extra legendaries and event Bulbasaur. Oh no, these are the... Wait, no, these are event ones. They're Gigantamax Factor. Wait, I didn't even know I had those. Huh. That's interesting. These are more 8F Mews. These are more Deoxys. These are more... well, this is an event Jirachi, but these are the Wishmaker, these two. So I have extra Wishmaker, extra Magearna, more event stuff, more extra legendaries. This is a duplicated Raikou. I just wanted to test to make sure duplicated Pokemon could send into home. Spoiler alert, they can be sent into home. More legendaries. I think that's it for that. I'm already pushing like an hour in this video. Hopefully I can edit some of the fluff down. Now we're on to the shiny living decks. So obviously it's not complete. I have a long way to go. My personal rule for my shiny living decks is I want to get them all at the full odds rate, whether that's 1 in 8192 or 1 in 4096, depending on newer versus older games. And I want to have them caught live on my YouTube channel, like find them live, have live reactions for them on my YouTube channel. That's what all these are. These are all full odds shinies. Also, if you do want to like check out the videos that any of these are listed in, these shinies, I do have a Google Sheets page listed in the description of all my videos. Shows the shiny, what game I got it in, what its name is, and the link to the video if you ever want to like see the videos I got these in, because I think I have videos for every single one of these except for some of the event ones. Facepalm was from Ultra Moon. Grocery Store was from Fire Red. Goldenrod, which is female, was from Leaf Green. This was my first ever shiny starter I've ever hunted. I was pretty new into shiny hunting. My first one was a female Bulbasaur. Completely random luck. It was 3,000 resets, and it just happened to be female, which is awesome because Venusaur has a gender difference. So that was a really special one. Twist 2, Island Scan as well, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Shuriken was Fire Red. We got LeBron. This is also Island Scan. These are also in Apricorn balls. We got Friend Ball, Lure Ball, and Level Ball for those ones, which are pretty cool. This was Fire Red, Donatello. We got Nugget, also Fire Red, or Leaf Green. Well, some of these might have been Leaf Green, I'm not sure, but like Fire Red, Leaf Green, Camera Fail. These were both Fire Red, Leaf Green, Real Estate, and Free Fallin'. Haystack was Fire Red, Leaf Green. Bean was Platinum. I used the dongle thing in Eterna Forest with a repel trick. That's also how I got Beyonce. These were both Platinum with the repel trick with the dongle method. If you have like Leaf Green in the bottom slot, you get 4% Weedle, 4% Kakuna, and then if you repel trick it, it makes them up to 40%, which is crazy, and the encounter rate isn't that low. I got really unlucky with Viridian Forest, so I just got a bunch of like Caterpies, and once I got the 4th Caterpie to complete the gender difference, I only had 1 Weedle, so I had to do the rest in Platinum. Then we got Kiwi, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Woodstock, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Gold Giot, Fire Red, Leaf Green. Boomerang. This one I named Boomerang because one of my only full odd shiny fails was when I first got back into Pokemon. I was playing through Fire Red and button mashing A, talking to my friend. We were just sitting on a bench because it was lunchtime in high school, and we were just playing our games. I was talking to him, button mashing A, level grinding, look down, I see a shiny Rattata, and it said Rattata fainted. This was before I like knew much about shinies, so I was like, I think I failed a shiny Rattata. Then I had to look up what shiny Rattata looked like because part of me thought I imagined it, and sure enough, it was exactly the color that I thought I saw. But I have reclaimed it, and that's why its name's Boomerang, because it came back to me. Then we got Randy. This was Fire Red Leaf Green Mansion, Pokemon Mansion. We got Rhonda, Fire Red Leaf Green, Pokemon Mansion. Also, yes, we are doing form differences and gender differences for the shinies as well, if you didn't already notice. It's essentially going to be the same as my regular home living decks, but without the shiny locked ones, because you can't get them shiny. Then we got Jack. We got Bird Person. These are both Fire Red Leaf Green. Then we got It's a Catch, spelled backwards. This was a more recent shiny from Fire Red. It's called It's a Catch, spelled backwards, obviously because Ekans is snake spelled backwards, but it's a catch because I recorded myself finding the shiny, and then when I went to catch it, I stopped recording, and then I started recording on OBS with like my face cam, but I wasn't recording with the camera, and so it's just my face cam being like, oh, look it, I'm throwing a ball at it, oh, blah, blah. And like, I was like, wow, I didn't record myself catching this. That's crazy. This is a crazy one. This one is the shiny partner cat Pikachu. I do have videos for this on my channel. Check out the description for the living deck spreadsheet, because that's how you'll see the video. For those who don't know, this was like intentionally supposed to be a shiny lock event, but you can get it anytime with the QR code, as I mentioned before. It's the same partner cat Pikachu that I showed earlier. And I could be wrong with the details, but I'm pretty sure the way they shiny locked it is they accidentally shiny locked it for Ash instead of like you. If you have the same shiny value as Ash, then it's shiny locked for you. But it's a 1 in 40/96 chance that would happen. Other than that, it's fully huntable. They never coded a model for it. They never coded a sprite for it, but it does show up in all the dexes and everything as a shiny, which is pretty cool. It also sparkles. It is a shiny Pikachu. It just doesn't look like one. It's really crazy. It's such an interesting shiny hunt. I hunted it twice. The first time I failed it because I'm an idiot. I led my party with shinies thinking, oh, all I have to do is wait till the star stays there, and that's how I know I got the shiny. And, you know, you get kind of numb seeing that star, so I turned to the Pikachu, it had a star, and I reset over it. I was smart, and the second time, I led with a non-shiny, so I was just looking for the star, and when the star showed up, I did reclaim it. Both of them, pretty far over odds. The first one took like 6,000 something, the second one took like 8,000 something, so it was like 13,000 just to get this thing, even though it shouldn't have taken that long, but that's where I'm at. But yeah, this is one of my favorite shinies I have. I know it's never gonna happen, but every new generation, I just hope that they're gonna eventually code a shiny model for this thing. They have acknowledged that you can get it. Like, they have fully acknowledged it because 1, it's not illegal. 2, someone in my chat said that they had hacked in all of the other Ash Hat Pikachus as shinies, and they were not able to use any of them in online play except for the partner cap one, because the partner cap one, Game Freak has acknowledged that it exists and that you can get it, but they just refuse to give it a shiny model. I always hope one day they give it a shiny model. It'd be really cool, but it's still really cool as it is because it's like a shiny, non-shiny. Then we got Nidoqueen. This one, these are all like Safari Zone Fire Red Leaf Green. Actually, all of these are Fire Red, believe it or not. I have gotten a bunch of shiny Nidorans male, and I also hunt on Leaf Green, and Leaf Green has yet to see a shiny Nidoran female when it's like the most common thing. I was doing a repel trick for Nidoran in Nidorina in Leaf Green to make it like 75% between the two. And then Fire Red, Nidoran female is only 5%. And I ended up getting the 5% one in Fire Red, which was insane. And obviously I caught it. It's Safari Zone, so they can run. I have failed a decent amount of shinies from the Safari Zone, but this one is really cool despite it, you know, just being a Nidoran. This is a Game Corner Clefable from Fire Red, Leaf Green, Fire Red, I believe. This was from Sword and Shield. I did the Motostoke Gym Hunt, which is one of my most popular videos, so I'm not going to link it or anything because you can probably find it on my channel pretty easily. But I got shiny Vulpix from the Motostoke Gym because you can hunt those shinies. It's kind of crazy you can hunt them. It's crazy they're not shiny locked, but you can hunt them, and I got all 3 of them. We'll see the other 2 later on. Then this was from BDSP. This was a phase for Bronzor, which I did end up getting Bronzor, so that was cool. Then we got Watermelon and Laylee. These were both Fire Red Leaf Green. Turn Up was Fire Red. We got Fun and Gus. Fun was one of my most recent shinies I've gotten. It's a video about me drawing all the Pokemon, and it's one of my most recent. I would highly advise you to check that out. It's kind of a long video, but it took a while to make, and I'm really proud of it, but like, Not many people actually watched it, which was kind of disappointing. But yeah, check that out. Same with running. Running was also part of that video. Actually, same with Psy. That was also part of that video. These were all, which is kind of crazy, they're lined up like this. These were all part of the same video. And it was a good video in my opinion. So check that out if you haven't done so yet. But we got Fun, we got Gus. These were Fire Red Leaf Green. Raspberry was from Soul Silver, because I have my name, my OT's lowercase for some reason. I did that for my Soul Silver copy. These were both Fire Red, Mr. Sniffles and Running. We got Richie, Rachel, Fire Leaf Green. If you haven't noticed, I like shiny hunting in Fire Red Leaf Green. Most of these shinies are going to be from Fire Red Leaf Green. Psy was from Fire Red. This was my first Japanese shiny, because I have a Japanese copy of Fire Red now. We got Misty. This was a phase for the for LeBron, the War Turtle in Ultra Moon. And then we got Swanky the Mankey. This was Fire Red Leaf Green. Amazon Primate, Fire Red Leaf Green. Buddy, Fire Red Leaf Green. Smush, Fire Red Leaf Green. PK Fire and Redacted. These were Game Corner, Fire Red Leaf Green. These were some of the phases for my Torkoal hunt. I got these really close together. I got this one after like 2,000 something, almost 3,000. This one was like 200 after on the same game. I was hunting on like 4 games and I got these so fast together. And then we got this one a few phases later, I'm pretty sure. These were all Sapphire, by the way. I don't know if I specified that. This was Fire Red, no name. I think it was a badge quest member. These were all phases for Torkoal as well. Nugs, Malcolm, and Daruk. These were all on my Emerald, because I was hunting an Emerald for Torkoal in the Magma Hideout, because Torkoal's a lot more common there. Then we got Lavender. This was a Safari Week shiny in Soul Silver. And we got Warp Speed, which was a Surfing shiny in Leaf Green. Then we got Aloe Vera, completely random full odd shiny when Scarlet and Violet first came out. I kind of think shinies are a bit easy to get in Scarlet and Violet. I know it's kind of a hot take. I know people don't care or whatever. It's still a full odd shiny. I got it live. It's still cool, you know what I'm saying? Sour Patch was a Heart Gold. There's a route below the Safari Zone where you can get some pretty cool shinies, and Farfetch was one of them, so that was a cool one. Key and Wee, Safari Zone, Fire Red Leaf Green. And then we got Gidodo. This was actually this last Safari Week, so that's a more recent video, so check that one out. Gidodo, Fire Red Leaf Green, Safari Week. Then we got Cream Soda and Coconut. This was a 10% shiny Dugong, which was crazy. 10% don't happen too often. Yeah, Dugong was crazy because I got Seal first, and then I was like, well, Dugong would be cool, and I got Dugong right after. Then we got Flubber. This was another phase on Sapphire for Torkoal. We got Pistachio. I got this in Heart Gold. Eclipse was a badge quest member, Fire Red, or that might have actually been Leaf Green. I think that actually was Leaf Green. Sleepover was the Lostel Hypno from Fire Red Leaf Green that you can reset for. That one was pretty cool. Patty and Meaty Claw were Safari Week, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. We got Boomy, Bob-omb, and Splody. Boomy and Splody are from Fire Red Leaf Green. Bob-omb is from Legends Arceus, obviously. These are all full odds. I already mentioned that, but yeah, these are all full odds. I did not have research level 10 for the Bob-omb. Not so lucky, the shiny Execute. It kind of makes more sense to go off of Lucky Eggs first. This shiny was my first ever Safari Zone shiny. It was not part of a Safari Week. I was just trying to get a Lucky Egg from a Chansey, which it's 5% chance for them to hold it. And I caught, I think, over 60 chances, which is triple the odds, and never got one. But along the way, I ended up catching Lucky Eggs, finding and catching Lucky Eggs, which was crazy. And then the second one I got was Royalty. I caught it as a Nidorino, which was also crazy. And that's what got me hooked on like Safari Week. So I participated in Safari Week the following year. But yeah, so I was going after Lucky Eggs and I got shiny Execute. So I was like, I guess I got these Lucky Eggs, which I named it Lucky Eggs. Flash forward like so many Safari Weeks, I failed, I think, 5 Executes in a row and then finally caught one. So I named it Not So Lucky because it took so many Executes to get. And then I actually do have another one that I caught right after it. Then we got Bop It. This was the one you reset for in Sun and Moon. You can only get it in Sun and Moon. As part of like the story, there's a cutscene where you enter Executor Island and then Lily is like, oh my gosh, look at this tree. And it's like, it ends up being an Executor. You can shiny hunt that one and I got it. And that's what this is. So we named it Bop It because it bops its head down, which is pretty funny. Then we got Dry Bones. This was this past Safari week, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. This was probably the coolest one because Execute's pretty common. It's just kind of hard to catch for some people, and I was just unlucky with the Execute. This was like the craziest thing I got, I think. It was just so unexpected, and I caught it after it broke out like twice or something. I thought I was failing it for sure. Lucky Lee. I actually didn't even mention this with the Doug trio, but Lucky Lee for a while was my shortest ever 1 in 8192 hunt, being 78. And what's even crazier is that it was on the same game that got Eclipse. And Eclipse was probably only like 30 encounters before Lucky Lee happened, but it was 78 across all the games I was using. And that was my first time ever getting a shiny under 1,000, but it was also under 100, which was insane. I recently broke it with running because this one took 70 encounters, took like 3 minutes to find after I started the hunt, which was unreal. I've said insane 500 times already, but it was unreal. So I'm going to try to change my vocabulary with what's crazy and what's insane and what's unreal. Lucky Lee was my fastest until running came along, and I have a faster full odds shiny that was in a 1 in 4096 game that I will talk about later. And we got Fisto Pain here. So we got both of these from Fire Red Leaf Green, the Lucky Lee and the Fisto Pain. Smudge and Wheezy, I got both of these from Fire Red. These were some of my main targets for the mansion, so I was very happy to get those. Then we got Choco Dummy. These are all Safari week. Choco Dummy, I really wanted a Rhyhorn, and I found the Rhyhorn, and it broke out like 6 times, which it has a 1 in 4 chance to flee. I thought for sure I was failing it, and then I caught it, and then I also got the Nature Guess, which was unreal. It was so crazy. And then we caught 2 more after. Yeah, these were pretty cool. Then we got Robotnik. This was a random shiny in Scarlet, full odds, obviously. And it was right before I got the Magneton too. Again, highlighting how easy it is to get shinies in Scarlet and Violet. But I also for sure just got super lucky with these ones because I probably only encountered like 100 or so Pokemon between them, if that. I don't even know if I encountered that many. Then we got Fry Kid from Fire Red. We got Yoshi. I think this was from Leaf Green. I named it Yoshi because I used to have a pet goldfish that looked a lot like Seeking. It was one of those like helicopter shaped goldfish, and I named it Yoshi. And rest in peace, Yoshi. Gone but not forgotten. Then we got Andromeda. I can't stand the shiny sprite for Starmie in Pokemon Home. I don't know why they made the gem purple. The gem being a deep blue looks way cooler, and it looks like that in every game except BDSP. So I don't know what they're doing here. Still a really cool shiny, and that was Leaf Green. Lemon Lime was the same hunt I did with the Farfetch'd in Heart Gold Soul Silver, and I think I got it first phase. Then we have all the Tauroses. We got Bell. This is the combat breed Tauros. Then we got Ghost, which is the Blaze breed, and then we got Chili, which is the Aqua breed, which they're all named after peppers except for Lemon Lime, because why not? The crazy part about Ghost and Chili and Bell is that I actually got the combat breed one last. I got really lucky. Phase 1 got Ghost, Phase 2 got Chili, which are the rare ones. You get 4 combat breed Tauros for every 1 of these 2, and I somehow got those 2 first, and then I had to do an additional phase for Bell after, which was unreal, which I got this one after only like 200 encounters. That one was really fast too. Then we got Worth It. It's named Worth It because I bought it from that guy who tries to scam you with a Magikarp on the route by Mountain Moon. Then we got Rage Narok. This was a phase for Dratini in Platinum. I ended up switching the hunt over to Heart Gold Soul Silver in the game corner to get Dratini a little faster because I needed to prepare for Safari Week. Yeah, that was phase 1. It was Mount Coronet. Then we got Nebula. This was from Fire Red Leaf Green, the gift one from Silphco, that guy in Silphco. We got Look at Me, Shiny Ditto from Fire Red Leaf Green. Just like Route 14 or something, you can get Ditto. It's only like 10%, but I got it. Then we got Big Chungus. This was one of the static ones you get in Fire Red Leaf Green that are blocking the path. Did that hunt. Pretty cool. These are Event, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Wish we could hunt. I guess we can hunt them now in Pokemon Go, but I wish we could hunt them in main series. It's cool that you can get them shiny in Go, but I'll stick with the event ones for now. I don't know if I'm going to use Go to hunt for them shiny. Then we got Dragoon. I'm doing a Dratini generational quest where I try to get a full odd shiny Dratini in every generation of Pokemon. This was the Gen 1 Dratini, which unfortunately I sent it into Crystal to show it was shiny and then sent it up, which makes the game think I got it from Johto, which is very unfortunate, but I did get this from the game corner. I think it was blue version I got from the game corner. It was really fast. It was only after like 800. And that was one where you have to like check the stats and everything because it's Gen 1. And then we got Razmik. This one I got from my Soul Silver. It was the Game Corner. It was after getting the Rage and Rock. That was the one I got. And then we got Hi, I'm Normal. This was the Gen 2 Shiny Dratini I got from the Dragon's Den. And I gave it like a goofy moveset that you can only get from like older games. So except for Extreme Speed. But the whole point is that the gift one gets Extreme Speed. But it's got Skull Bash, Horn Drill, Zap Cannon, and Extreme Speed. So I named it Hi, I'm Normal because it has a completely abnormal moveset. But that was the Gen 2 Dratini. This was the Gen 4 Dratini. And then the Gen 3 one will be later. Then we got Mirage, Shiny Mew from Emerald. Obviously, it's from Emerald. You can only hunt it in red, blue, yellow, and Emerald. And there's not like a fully legitimate way to hunt it. I had to use a set of glitches to unlock the events and then hunt it that way. But it took so long to find Shiny. It took me over 23. It was a palindrome number. It was like 23,332, I believe. I think that was the number. Let me tell you, those runaways, they are not fast. And I was only hunting on 2 games. So it took me nearly 8 months, not straight, but like it was an 8-month process to find the shiny. And it's one of my all-time favorite looking shinies. So it's cool that I finally got it. And I got it on the save file that I reset for the ID. So it's got a cool ID too, which is pretty awesome. Then we got Edward C. I think this was just a phase for Slowpoke in Leaf Green, and it's named Edward C because it's Edward Cullen, because that was someone suggested that nickname because it's a sparkly vampire, so that was kind of funny. And then I named it Edward C because I have Edward as in the scissor hands for this one. I didn't want to have 2 Pokemon with the exact same name, so Edward and Edward C. Then we got Nap King, which I recently got. This was the other one I got for that set with like the Doug Trio and the Psyduck and the Paris. These were all from the same video, but I got this because I got Psyduck and I still wanted one more Slowpoke for Slowking. I hunted it in Heart Gold Soul Silver and in Leaf Green, but I got it in Heart Gold Soul Silver really fast. Then there's a lot of empty spaces because I've mostly hunted Gen 1 shinies, so huge skip here. Then we got Dionysus, which is my starter from my kind of like a DTQ. It's kind of old school. I was originally going to do a badge quest for Alpha Sapphire, and eventually it just kind of turned into a DTQ, a Dream Team quest, where I just had 6 shinies that I wanted to hunt for. Some of them were method hunts, so you won't see all of them well, I guess you'll see them at the end. They're not part of my shiny living dex. Only the full odds ones are part of my shiny living dex, but this was for the starter, the reset hunt, and I got it pretty fast, like after only like 700 or something. We got a lot more phases for Torkoal. We got Caleb, Azula, Gobi, and then Atlas was part of the Alpha Sapphire DTQ. As you can see, it's got the Gen 6 symbol. Then we have Torkoal, Oogway, which took forever, but I got it on Ruby, which was pretty cool. Ruby is one of my old school Pokemon games that I kept all these years, so that was pretty cool. Then we got Munch Munch. This was another completely random shiny full odds in Scarlet and Violet that I got while grinding BBQs. Then we got Lockjaw. This was another recent shiny. This was from XD, the shiny Trapinch from the Rock. I think it's the Rock Pokespot is what it's called. And they are long resets. They're very slow. 1 in 8, 192. 10% of your encounters are just not encounters because you get Munchlax that can't be shiny and you can't catch. It took a while. We got it under odds and we got the rarest one. It was the 15% Trapinch. And we got Flying Nimbus. This was part of my Alpha Sapphire DTQ. I did horde hunting for it. I also did horde hunting for Atlas too. I wanted Numel, and then I ended up getting 5 other Numels while hunting Torkoal, so I kind of regret hunting this one. Then we got Puppet Fever. This was, as it stands now, and I hope it will forever stay that way, my longest ever shiny hunt in terms of encounters. This shiny took 54,415 encounters, I want to say. Yeah. For when I got into shiny hunting, my first ever shiny hunt I did for a shiny Dratini was like 24,000, almost 25,000 encounters. For years, that was my longest ever hunt. During the Torkoal hunt, it was one of the Geodudes I got as a phase was like 30,000, and that broke my record. And then shortly after that, one of the Caterpies I got from Viridian Forest was like 38,000 something, and that was my longest hunt. And then not too long after that, I went 54,000 for Puppet Fever. This was in Emerald. Moving on though, we got Goku, our shiny Infernape, which was the starter hunt for my Shining Pearl DTQ. This was the starter. Got it super fast. It was after only like 620 something resets, and I didn't get a Starly too, which is awesome. I got super lucky with this one. Like, I was very grateful because it still took like 19 hours to hunt, and I was worried I was gonna be doing it for months, but I only did it for like a week, so that was pretty cool. Then we got Strawbreaker. This is one of my most recent shinies from Legends Arceus. This is a full odds distortion exclusive shiny. It was the first shiny I got on my full odds file that I just made for Legends Arceus 2. I'm trying to get all of the alphas in Legends Arceus, and I wanted to do the trick with what's like distortion weather or whatever they do whenever you get banished. You get like the crazy sky, and you can't get starters, and distortions show up more frequently. And I was like, this could be my chance to get an alpha Cranidos, and I ended up getting a shiny Cranidos, and I still haven't found an alpha Cranidos. I've done a lot more encounters since and still have not found an alpha one yet. I need two. I need one for Rampardos as well, but this is like the craziest shiny I would ever find in Legends Arceus, I think, unless I got an alpha one, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Like, they're just that rare. Then we got Terry, the shiny Rampardos. This was also my Shining Pearl DTQ. I had people trade me skull fossils so I could actually hunt this thing. So at some point I gotta do shield on, because I have this line completed now, and I don't have a single shield on, which is crazy. Then we got Clementine. This was also DTQ. This was a phase. I was going for Buizel, and I phased with this Pachirisu and it was a Shellos, this Shelly the Gastrodon. I ended up resorting to full odds Poke Radar with Storm Drain in the front of my party, which, yeah, I gave Shelly Storm Drain in order to make it a little better. But I switched over to Poke Radar, and it was full odds Poke Radar. I had a chain of 0 in order to get the shiny patch to show up, and luckily it was Buizel on the third attempt, so that was cool. Really fast to get encounters with full odds Poke Radar, but I probably wouldn't continue doing it because it's very similar to just like overworld shinies, which I'm not the biggest fan of hunting shinies when they show up in the overworld, but you still find some crazy ones. Then we got Georgie. This was the Valley Windworks Drifloon in BDSP. This was another DTQ member. Then we got Scarlet. This was the first shiny I found in Scarlet, and I named it Scarlet because that's kind of like the color scheme that it is, and it was a phase for Tauros. I was just kind of trying to find a shiny because I didn't know how shiny hunting even worked in this game. Like, I didn't know they showed up overworld. I figured they'd show up overworld, but I didn't know they didn't sparkle or anything, so I was just kind of going around trying to find a shiny that I didn't know the color scheme for, and I ended up getting an Oinkologne, which you will see later, and I didn't know the color scheme for that one, that's kind of what I went with. And then I went back to hunt for Tauros later, which is when I got the 3 Paldean ones. Then we got Ding Dong. This was the Bronzong as part of the Shining Pearl DTQ. Then we got Dark Matter. This is, believe it or not, both of these shinies are some of the oldest shinies I've hunted for, at least at the full odds rate. I got into shiny hunting and I hunted for like Dratini in the Game Corner and Fire Red, then like Abra in the Game Corner and Fire Red. And then like I got some random shinies here and there. I did some method hunts. And then I pretty much went straight into like Shaman. Like I went guns blazing with like going for cool shinies when I first started shiny hunting. It's kind of funny. I want to get back into that and getting more like cooler shinies, more quality over quantity, where more rare shinies, cooler looking shinies, or just cool Pokemon shiny, as opposed to just trying to fill out a generation being like Gen 1. So I do want to get back into that, but we have Eve, Shiny Shaman Landform. I have the event, Oak's Letter, for BDSP. Yeah, we gotta get another one for the Sky form. We got both of these in Platinum. Like, you can just, as I said earlier, you can just send them up from Platinum if you got the Oak's Letter or member card events. Shaman was like 6,000 runaways, not too bad. And then Dark Matter was like 1,300. Like, it was pretty fast. So, and these are some of my favorite shinies I have. Moving on to Gen 5, very, very empty Gen 5. I've never actually hunted in a Generation 5 game. I have to do that soon. But we got Lumos. This was the third shiny I got from the Motostoke gym. This was, I think, as of now, and in fact, it'll probably be this way for a while. It is my longest ever 1 in 4096 hunt. Took a little over 20,000, I think. It might have been like 20,700 or something like that. I don't know. It's listed on my Google Sheets page, so I guess check that out if you haven't done so yet. But yeah, this thing took a very long time to get, so there's that. I should also mention, and take this as you will that I'm mentioning it now, there are some shinies that I have hunted for hunts that I have not posted videos on yet. There are some shinies I have found that are not part of this just yet because I need to add them later. Rest assured, there will be shiny videos in the future. Moving on, we got Meloetta. This is the home event Meloetta that is literally a carbon copy, exactly the same for literally everyone. I kind of hate how they did it that way, but it's still cool that we were able to finally get shiny Meloetta after like 13 years or something, like something ridiculous. It is unfortunate. It's the same OT ID for everyone. It's the same nature for everyone. It's the same stats for everyone. Same ability. The only thing different about it for everyone is like depending on what day you got it, which I got mine on, I think the first day it was available because I already had those dexes filled out, so I was able to get it right away. Then we got Genesect, the shiny Genesect. This one I got obviously from Go. There is a shiny Genesect event in the Japanese versions of Black 2 and White 2 that you can get with the DNS exploit, but one, I don't own a Japanese copy of Black 2, White 2, and two, I'd rather hunt for the shinies than just get them from an event, so I kind of hunted it in a way from Go, so that's where this one came from. Then we got Litleonia, the shiny female Litleo that was a random full odd shiny from Violet that I got during my Living Dex challenge when I was doing Gen 9, so there's that. Moving forward a lot, we are in past Gen 7 now. We got Stormbreaker, the shiny Zeraora. Now this was the home shiny Zeraora. This one they let you nickname, which is pretty crazy. I don't know why the Meloetta I couldn't nickname, but the Zeraora they did let you. It was like the same kind of distribution where you just receive it and then it said give it a nickname. It's the same OT. Not the same ID number though, but yeah, I don't know why they didn't let us nickname the Meloetta, but they did for the Zeraora, but I like that we're able to nickname the Zeraora. Then we got Melty, the shiny Meltan, obviously from Go, and then we got Mercury, the shiny Melmetal. Then we got Origin. This was the first shiny I got from my Pokeball only challenge. It was a lot more exciting than the Litleo because this was like a random, not overworld encounter that was super unexpected, and I accidentally encountered it too. In my sending shinies up video, I went through my shiny Living Dex, and a lot of people pointed out that I didn't have it in here. I am currently using Yamper for a shiny hunt with the ball fetch ability, and I just forgot to put it back in to record that bit, so I have to take out the Yampers again and put them back in my save files so I can continue that hunt, but that's why it wasn't in here. It's here now, so there it is. And then we got Skillet, the shiny Sizzlipede, which was the other shiny from the Motostoke gym. So I got all three of the Motostoke gym shinies. Then we got Gizmo, the shiny Impidimp. I actually got this on a shiny charm file, but it was the Glimwood Tangle mushrooms, which are always full odds, no matter what, if you have a shiny charm or not. There's a select few hunts in Sword and Shield that regardless of you having a shiny charm, they are full odds still. It's like the curry hunts, the berry trees, impident mushroom, Reggie's, probably more than I'm not thinking of right now, but those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head that they're all like full odds regardless of shiny charm or not. Oh, the fossils, which we will see another fossil right here, Mr. Fish. This is another one that I got on my shiny charm file, but it's full odds no matter what, and I got it super fast, only after like 279. I think that's the number. And then we got the event Zacian, Zamazenta, and Eternatus. These two Pokemon you can shiny hunt in Go, but I don't know if I want to get them from Go. Same with the Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres. Like, I do prefer hunting the shinies, but at the end of the day, I kind of prefer them not having the Go symbol on them. I don't know. Maybe I'll just like make a video where I hunt all of the Go exclusive shinies and like make that a compilation or something. But I don't know if I'm going to actually include most of them in the Living Dex. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, these are the event ones. This Eternatus is funny because it was like a GameStop event. I went to my GameStop and they just told me that they never received codes for it. So I ended up, someone online was able to give me one, which was pretty cool. Next, we got Ziggy Piggy, the shiny Oinkologne. This was the one I got after the Stunky in Scarlet and Violet. Then we got Palmy. I haven't nicknamed this one yet. I guess leave a nickname suggestion in the comments if you're still watching, because this is probably like an hour and a half long or almost 2 hour long video at this point. I guess leave a nickname suggestion for Palmy. I don't have a nickname for it. I don't know what to name it, but I got this in Area 0. I was just messing around with a fighting type sandwich. I didn't use sparkling power. I just used encounter power for fighting and title power for fighting, because I was trying to see if like title power affected your chances of getting like the partner mark on a Pokemon, because I was trying to get a partner mark on my Tauros. It just gave me a shiny Palmy after like a few minutes, and I actually ended up getting another shiny that we will see later. Then we got Tamatoa, the shiny Cloth, which this one is actually my fastest one in 4096 shiny hunts in terms of encounters, not in terms of time. I did the reset hunts. For those who don't know, there's certain like fixed spawns that you can like knock out and then advance your time by like a day, and then they'll like respawn when you load the game up. And you can like do reset hunts for them. And I wanted to do that. The spot in front of where you fight the Titan Cloth, there's 3 of these fixed cloths. And after only 60, I got the shiny. Then we got Mermaid Man. This one, I did a funny hunt in Scarlet and Violet where I just got to an outbreak and grabbed the ledge of the cliff and just waited until one spawned, because they just kind of keep swimming when they spawn in until they despawn. So I just sat there hunting something else. I forget what else I was hunting. And this is a Palafin. This is not a Finizen. I did evolve it into a Palafin, but obviously they look very similar. And then here's the other one that I got with the encounter power fighting in Area 0. It was Behemoth, because it's like Behemoth, but it's a mammoth. Yeah, it was encounter power fighting. It was not sparkling power. It was just encounter power and title power, and then something else, because obviously I like getting the shinies full odds. We got this one pretty fast too, because again, it's pretty easy to find shinies in Scarlet and Violet if you just run around fast for a little bit. And then that is the end of the living dex. At this point, these are all of my full odds shinies that are duplicates or ones that I'm not counting for my shiny living dex in one way or another. So for example, this Partridge is a duplicate. Ronald's a duplicate, Rory's a duplicate. I still need a female Rattata, and I keep getting male ones. Iskandar, duplicate. Gilgamesh, duplicate. I keep getting Nidoran males in the Safari Zone. Pele, this was a random shiny Alolan Dugtrio in my Moon file. I was trying to get Shiny Charm for my Moon copy, and I needed Trapinch, and I was doing those like ambush encounters and resetting until Trapinch showed up, and I ended up getting a shiny Dugtrio first, which was cool. But like the reason why these ones aren't in it is because I didn't get them live. They were just random. I was just playing on my own time. I didn't get them live. I like having my live shinies be in my shiny living dex. Like I could temporarily count them, and in a way I kind of do, but I still want to like rehunt them and get live reactions for them. But same goes for this one, Crookshanks. This was a random shiny Alolan Meowth on one of my, it was either my Sun or my Ultra Sun when I was just like playing through it for a little bit. Same with this one too, Psyduck. I got this randomly in Scarlet. I didn't get it live, but eventually I hunted the one in Fire Red, which was Psy, which you saw earlier. Then we got McGonagall here, which is a female shiny Alakazam, which was the first shiny Abra I got from the Game Corner. And again, I didn't get it live. I do have a video on it, but I didn't get it live. This was before I actually like recorded the hunting process. I would just find the shiny and then record like saying I got it after. A few shinies on my channel are like that, actually, and a few of them that are in here are like that. Then we got Roxanne, which is a shiny, another phase for Torkoal. This one was, I think, a 1% because it was level 33, and it was like the highest level. I think it was a little higher than 1% because of the repel trick I was doing, but I don't think it was more than 2%. I think it was less than 2%, but higher than 1% encounter rate. The other golem I have was also super rare because it was holding a 5% item, an Everstone, which was insane. So both of the golems are like insanely rare for some reason. Then we got Dostrich. This one was a duplicate female Doduo, which I failed a male one. I need 2 males still, and I failed the male one for Safari Week and then caught a female one, of course, that I didn't need. And then we got Blueberry. This was duplicate. This was the Scrambly. This is the execute I got right after the not so lucky one. So that was funny. Then we got Lil Knight, Shiny Scale, and Flashback. These two I hunted on my own time just for fun. I do have videos on them. Actually, I believe this one I got randomly after only like 50 encounters trying to get a non-shiny with a specific nature. And then this one I got just to complete the set. And then Flashback right here is my Gen 3 Dratini Generational Quest hunt. So I got that. It was also part of a DTQ. So there's that one. But obviously I'm using High I'm Normal for the living dex for that. Count Fabulous is a random Zubat I found on my first playthrough of Sapphire. Same with Inky over here. I'm kind of going ahead. But Inky was a random Shuppet I found on the same playthrough, so that was a pretty crazy playthrough, just 2 random shinies during it. Then we got Hoppip, which was random shiny in Scarlet. Slowking, random shiny in Scarlet, so they weren't live. That's why I rehunted Slowking, and I still need to rehunt a Hoppip too. Then we got Post Malone, random shiny Swinub in Leaf Green. Then we got Donphan. This Donphan, this Slowking, and this Hoppip were all part of the same Scarlet playthrough that were just random. Because again, very easy to find shinies in Scarlet and Violet, even if they're full odds, because when as many of them spawn, you don't have to actually encounter them, see if they're shiny. You will find shinies just by running around. Then we got Bubba, which is a random shiny Makuhita in Ruby, which I master balled it because it had Whirlwind and I wasn't prepared for it. So I thought that was pretty cool because the master ball kind of matches Hariyama. Then we got Blippi and Thursday. These are duplicate Nummels as part of the hunt for Torkoal. Then we got Swablu, another random shiny in Scarlet. Cash Money, which was a random shiny Barboach I found in my Ultra Moon, I think, trying to find a Dratini. Then I already mentioned Inky. Then we got Snorunt, the shiny Snorunt, which was a random full odds Snorunt from Legends. Then we got Ringding, random full odds shiny Bronzong in Shining Pearl, actually. I had done 6,000 encounters or so to get that shiny Zubat as a phase for Bronzor, and then I did like an additional 3,000 encounters to get Bronzor, so like that was like a 9,000 total hunt, and then I ended up getting a completely random shiny Bronzong after beating the game. So I have 2 Bronzongs now, and I still need another Bronzor because I evolved the other one, so that's cool. Then we got Aphrodite. This was a random full odds Carnivine in a Distortion in Legends Arceus. This one was really crazy because there's like an audio cue that kind of starts playing to let you know that a distortion's about to end. And while that cue was happening, that's when it spawned in, and I just like frantically threw my ball at like a Kadabra that was next to it so I could engage in battle so that it would pause the timer. And luckily I did catch it, but I think I only had like 6 seconds once the battle ended before the distortion went away. And then we got Vine, which was another random full odds shiny from Legends. Then we got Minccino, another random shiny from Scarlet and Violet. Then we got Bumble. This was a random shiny from my Moon file. This one was pretty cool. I really want to do this hunt again. Well, I didn't hunt it, but like it's a berry pile, and I entered a berry pile and it was a Crabrawler, and I ran from the Crabrawler and I was like, oh shoot, I think I have to catch or KO it in order to get the berries. So I went back into the battle, and then it was shiny the next time, and I just lost my mind. Then we got Doinkalone. This was another completely random shiny in Scarlet as per usual, and same with Glamora, completely random shiny in Scarlet. Again, happens. A lot of my random shinies, as you know, are in Scarlet because, and I barely even play this game because it's not my favorite Pokemon game, but yeah, shinies are kind of everywhere in that. These are like extra events that I'm not sure if I want to like use or not. I don't need the Eternatus, obviously. Yeah, someone gave me the other Eternatus, and then shortly after there was some like, oh, we messed up, trainers. Here, enter your email in this thing and you can get another Eternatus. And I did, and I got another Eternatus code. So I have 2 of them now. The Tapu Koko was an event from, I think, the Ultra games. These were X and Y events, apparently. And then these were Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon events. Like, I've considered putting these in my decks because, like, I'm not a fan of the Dynamax Adventures, and I would realistically want 4 of them, and it's, like, the hardest thing to shiny hunt, let alone full odds. So it's like, what if I just used these for, like, 3 of them? I'd still need 1 more. I only got 3, apparently. They're just kind of here for now. These are boosted odds shinies that I don't really need because I like having them be full odds, so I'll just quickly go through these ones. A lot of these are random. A lot of these are I hunted for. Some of these are DTQ members like Calypso, Lotus. Those were DTQ members. Some were random like Cobalt. I think this one was random too, but it was like shiny charm odds. Like this one I chain fished for. These are from that event they did from Sword and Shield where there was like Pikachu raids and they were really high to be shiny, really high chance. I think I gave a few away too. So like there's some shinies I've given away as well. Yeah, so like Gertrude was Shining Pearl DTQ, but I used the Diglett method to make it 1 in 2048 odds, so that's why that's here. This was a Ultra Wormhole shiny. This was an event. No, this was random shiny charm. This was a hunted shiny charm. Random SOS shiny charm. This was Glimwood Tangle phase. I did all of my Sinisty hunting with shiny charms. That's what like all these are. And then my antique one is somewhere else. But yeah, these are all either like shiny charm or method hunted. So they're just in a little separate thing. And then these are my Mark Challenge shinies. For those who probably know, I'm trying to get every mark on shiny Pokemon, and I'm only, as of now, missing 3. I'm missing the Misty Mark, the Dry Mark, and the Curry Mark. Oh, also, by the way, this is actually a full odds shiny, this one here, Coney Joe's. That's a full odds one from Scarlet and Violet. Another random one. It just happened to have a mark I needed. So the 2 spaces here and here are the Gormand and the Partner Mark, which I have on full odd shinies, which are part of my living deck. So like the Gormand Mark is on my Stunky, the Scarlet, and then the Partner Mark's on my Tauros. That's why there's spaces there. I can show off those in the mobile app, but you can't see them you can't see like the marks or ribbons they have in the Switch version, which I don't like that. And then this is my Go Dex. There's like a challenge. There's like different game Pokedexes to fill out in Pokemon Home, and one of them is Go, which is actually probably always going to be impossible to fill out because they included Spinda, and Spinda can't be transferred from Go to Home because of the way the patterns work. So this is everything that is, I think, currently possible outside of some regionals that I can't get just now. So like, this is everything. There's no mythicals because you don't need the mythicals, so none of the mythicals are in this, but it's like everything else. And then I'll mention ones that I'm missing that are like, so like right here, this is Skiddo and Go-Goat, which were only available in an overseas Safari Zone event they did. And this was like in October of 2023. And I thought, oh, after a few months, they'll probably release a global. Well, no, I guess they're just keeping it exclusive to overseas, which is really lame because they did it again where they did like the same Safari Zone event this year in October, I think, or September or something. And they just did it again, and we still haven't been able to get Skiddo or Go-Go global yet, which is so stupid. This is the Honedge line. It's just not in the game yet, so someday it'll be available. This is Zygarde. Not sure if they ever plan to let us transfer Zygarde up. A lot of these are just unavailable Pokemon. Some of them I think are regionals. One of these is Comfey. One of these might be like Mimikyu or something that's unreleased, or a lot of these are just unreleased ones. Like, there's not too many regionals. I know there's Comfey. I know I'm missing Stonjourner, which is a regional now in Gen 8. I think realistically, I think I'm only missing like 5 that are possible. And it's like Stonjourner, Comfey, Skiddo, Go-Goat. That might be it. Because I think I was including Toxel and Toxtricity, but I recently just got them. And I got Cursula, which I hatched 1 during that event. And that's the one that's going in. And then I don't know if there's anything from Gen 9 I'm missing that isn't really, that like has been released, but that's like everything there. And then that is it. There are some Pokemon I have not mentioned yet. Let me just start here. Let me save and exit. Yeah, 2,800. What? Wait, are you serious right now? All right, it is currently a new day, and I wanted to quickly go through a few more Pokemon before we go, but they added Sinistea and Poltegeist in Pokemon Go, so I have these now for my Pokemon Go Dex. Alright, I have connected to my sword file. These shinies are phases for the Misty Mark. So I'm going for the Misty Mark right now, and these are just some of the phases. These are all Shiny Charm shinies. Some of these are Brilliant Methods, some of them aren't. I believe the Metapod was random. I believe both Ralts were Brilliant Method. And then I think at least one of the Bunnelbees was random, and the rest were Brilliant Method, I'm pretty sure. But none of them had marks, so we're still going for that. Here's all the shiny Alchemy I have. Now, I did get these all with Masuda Method, and since I have, started changing it to where my shiny living dex is all full odds, I'm kind of redoing this. So none of these really count for my shiny living dex. I'm currently hunting these again, but at the full odds right now, so wish me luck. As of now, I only have 1 of them, so that's a little spoiler alert for an upcoming video, but yeah. These don't count. We're redoing all 63 Alchemy full odds, so we'll get that later, and I think that's it for this save file. But switching over to the other sword file, and I do have shinies in my Scarlet and Violet files that are boosted odds that I got when I was phasing endlessly for the marks. I'm not going to go through those. They're not really super important to me, so it's not that crazy. I guess there is 2 Pokemon I could go over. We got Lemonhead the shiny Drifblim. This was from Platinum. This was a team member. This was the one I was talking about earlier. This is a team member that I got at the Valley Windworks. I shiny hunted it. One of the first shiny hunts I ever did. It was probably like the 5th or 6th shiny hunt I did, so that's pretty cool. This one is a shiny charm Roly-Coly that I evolved into a Colossal. This is a Masuda Method Rillaboom. This one, I got this one from Dynamax Adventures. Now, I did get it with shiny charm, so I don't think I would count it towards my shiny living dex. But it was I also didn't get it live, so I definitely wouldn't count it towards my shiny living dex. But this is the only shiny I have ever gotten from Dynamax Adventures. I was trying to fill out the full living dex for Sword and Shield, including the DLCs, including form differences. So I was trying to get the Kanto birds from Dynamax Adventures. So essentially I was just going through the Dynamax Adventures, beating them, catching the legendary, keeping the legendary so that it wouldn't come back, and then do that until I got all 3 of the Kanto birds. And out of all of those Pokemon, I ended up getting a shiny Tapu Bulu. Then we got Persephone. This was a DTQ member for Alpha Sapphire. I did the Dex Nav for this one. And then this one is M. Knight. This is the first shiny I have ever hunted. It was on my old Fire Red copy. It took me over 24,000, almost 25,000 to get. I was not certain about shiny hunting, but I stuck with it, and yeah, this one, very special. This one, it's just in my sword copy right now, but it's very special to me because, yeah, it's what got me into shiny hunting, my first ever shiny I've hunted. This one is Seize, the shiny Flygon. I got it as a Trapinch in my Ruby copy. I was pickup grinding for rare candies, and I decided to do it in the desert area, because I thought if I get a random shiny, it would be cool if it was Trapinch, and that's exactly what happened, so that was pretty lucky. And really quick, let me just connect to my Scarlet copy, because there's 2 Pokemon in here that I do want to show off, actually. Here they are. It's I got 2 3-segment Dunsparce shinies, and I got them from Platinum version. There is a really crazy trick you can do to get a 3-segment Dunsparce shiny pretty easily if you're capable of catching Pokemon in Gen 4 and then sending them up into home. You can get a really easy shiny 3-segment Dunsparce. I ended up getting 2 of them. There's a really weird quirk because there's no encryption constant, which is what determines Dunsparce's evolution. It goes off of the nature. I think it's just the way the RNG works. It goes off of the nature and the ability as well. If you get a hardy nature Dunsparce in either Gen 3 or Gen 4, those are the only generations it works. Doesn't work in Gen 2, doesn't work in Gen 5, doesn't work with Gen 6 and onward. It's only Gen 3 and 4. If you get a hardy nature Dunsparce with the ability Serene Grace, it has a 50-50 chance to be a 3-segment when it evolves. We essentially just did Poke Radar with a hardy nature Kadabra in the front of the party for Synchronize, and just went crazy with a Poke Radar chain, catching a bunch of shiny Dunsparce, and 2 of them ended up being 3-segments, so that was pretty cool. So I just wanted to show that off. I do have a tutorial on my channel if you want to check that out. That is how I got those. If you want to check out that video, be sure to do so. Alright, so I'm in my mobile version of Pokemon Home. Quickly, hopefully I can do this pretty quickly, I wanted to show off the Mark Challenge Pokemon, because I can't show off the marks in the Switch. I did show them off already, but let's just, really show them off. So starting with Hungry Hippo, this one has the lunchtime mark. Then we got the sleepy time mark on Doc Ock, the shiny Graplocked. Then we got Coney Joe's with the dusk mark. Then we got Rise and Die with the dawn mark. And we got Daydreamer with the cloudy mark. We got Soggy Sven with the rainy mark. This one we have Vanaboris, which has the stormy mark. Then we got Skippy, that has the snowy mark. Then we got Spring, that has the blizzard mark. Then we got Sanders, that has the sandstorm mark. Melons, that has the uncommon mark. Pristine, and this is my shiny Antique Sinistea. I didn't really mention it too much in detail. You can kind of see the mark on the bottom when I do the little animation thing. But it is an Antique Sinistea caught from Sword and Shield, and it did have the rare mark. I also kind of ribbon mastered it. Outside of the Master Ball rank ribbon, I still have to get that, but I can't stand battling online. It's just not something I'm really interested in, so who knows if I'll ever get that. But it did get the rare mark, and then I ended up getting the Item Finder, Gormand, and Partner mark on it as well, while giving it Paldea Champion, Tower Master, Galar Champion, Effort Ribbon, and best friends ribbon. So there's all those marks and ribbons I got on this one. This one's very special because, yeah, I mean, I did have shiny charm, I did have mark charm, but at the time it was like unreal to get something like this. Obviously nowadays they kind of ruined the whole point of the Antique Dynasty and even the Artisan Poltergeist with the way the outbreaks work in Scarlet and Violet. I hope that's an oversight. I would assume in future games if they add these Pokemon, the Antique and the Artisan forms will be very rare again, but as it stands now, they're not really rare at all. Then we got Ramsey with the Rowdy mark, and we do have every personality mark, so these are all the personality marks. We got Polaris with the Absent-Minded mark. We got Anthony with the Jittery mark. I guess it also got the Gorman mark at some point. We got Grace with the Excited mark. We got Reaper with the Charismatic mark. We got Siesta with the Calmness mark. We got Frank with the Intense mark. We got Nightlight with the Zoned Out mark. We got Beetlejuice with the Joyful mark. We got the Fast and with the Angry mark. And this isn't a prime example of the nickname thing. The title is The Furious. So when you send it out in battle, it says The Fast and the Furious. So that one's kind of funny. We got Banana Cannon with the Smiley mark. We got Weepy Peeps with the Teary-Eyed mark. Or the Teary mark. The Teary-Eyed's the title. We got Wood with the Upbeat mark. We got Greg with the Peeved mark. We got Shuri with the Intellectual mark. Floof with the Ferocious mark. Defy with the Crafty mark. Drifblim with the Scowling mark. King Candy with the Kindly mark. Florence with the Flustered mark. Liquid Gold with the Pumped Up mark. Apparition with the Zero Energy mark. Ariel with the Prideful mark. Relish with the Unsure mark. Mr. Sneezy with the Humble mark. Pom Pom with the Thorny mark. Slow Dough with the Vigor mark. Wimpy with the Slump mark. And then that's all the personality marks. Then we got Grass and Trash with the Fishing mark. This is a Sword and Shield exclusive. We got Dovahkiin with the Destiny mark. Got Goliath with the Jumbo mark. David with the Mini mark. And it also ended up having the Uncommon mark, which is pretty cool, having the double mark on this one. Wicked with the Alpha mark. And all Alphas are capable of getting the Jumbo mark as well, so we got that as well. And then we got Mutant with the Mightiest mark. So that's all those outside of the Partner and Gorman that I have separately, but those are part of my Shiny Living Dex Pokemon. So we have right here, we got Ghost with the Partner mark there. And then we got Scarlet with the Gorman mark here. I might eventually swap them out so that you can see all of the marks in one spot. But for now, that's just how it's going to be. So that's all the marks I have, missing 3 of them, still working towards that. So if you're wondering where that challenge, the part 3 is, I know it's been a while, but we are working on it, trust me. Then I wanted to show off the different Pokedexes. Obviously I have this is the shiny filter. Obviously I have every Pokemon registered, like it's no secret. I've done a whole Living Dex challenge, so we have every Pokemon registered. Then for games, we have everything registered except Go, but Go is probably always going to be impossible to completely fill out. Again, as I said before, I am missing Skiddo, Go-Goat, Comfey, and I believe Stonjourner, and that's all of them. And, I mean, if you have those Pokemon, have access to those Pokemon from Go, and you want to trade them to me in home, let me know in the comments. I could hit you up. That'd be pretty cool. Because I really don't care if they have my OT, I'm going to be honest. Then on this side, we have all of the moves registered, which some of these require Smeargle because some moves you can't box in home because they're for like fusion forms or the Zacian and Zamazenta with their held items that you can get those moves. So you need Smeargle for a decent amount of moves, but we do have every move registered. And then we have every ability registered. The abilities was a lot easier than the moves. And then quickly, if I go to challenges, so I have almost every challenge completed. The ones I am missing are deposit Pokemon that embody the ultimate cleverness, cuteness, toughness, beauty, coolness, and sheen. I'm currently working on that kind of loosely, but we are working on it. And then that bronze one in the middle, it's just deposit Pokemon with a Mighty's Mark. I don't know why that's bronze. It's really weird because it's fully completed, so I don't know why it's not like that silvery color or gold, but it looks incomplete, but it is completed. Other, I believe we have all these completed. Yeah, all of these ones are completed. And then trade, I'm missing some trade ones, but I do have the ones to trade all of the specific Pokemon, because that one took a while. I just traded between my 2 accounts that I have for home, and it took like weeks to do. But I have to do more GTS trades. I have to have a room trade with 20 people in it. I've never done a room trade. I don't know how that works. But yeah, I have to essentially use the Wonder Box and room trade and GTS, and that's it for those. So we're very close on completing all the challenges in Pokemon Home as well. I think that is everything. I know this was such a long video. Now I gotta hopefully edit a lot of this out. I don't know. It's probably gonna be a long one. There was a lot to go through, but that is my entire Pokemon Home collection. So that is going to be it. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring those notification bells, all that good stuff. Be sure to join the domiNATION, and I will see you in the next video.